Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Today we are live in the studio to talk all things Florida Gator football, to recap the game against the Charlotte 49ers and their incredible sleeveless shirt head coach. We're going to talk about some drama that unfolded last night on Twitter with the ETN brothers, with Kamari Wilson, what's going on with him. We talked about it earlier in the week. Where is he? We had Connor Clark on the show. He gave us some insight on that. It seemed to heat up a little bit. We're going to pull some information about that. And then the recruiting. It seems to be in a weird place because the guys that visited this weekend, you thought that it was over with. And I don't know what's going on. So we're going to talk about it, talk about who was there. And, of course, break down what happened last night. And we started doing a segment a few weeks ago where I would read the comments of the people. I got to bring the voice of the people back because I find myself sometimes trying to speak for myself and for the fans, and I've got to learn to separate the two. And so I'm going to have a moment where I'll read your comments in here, but also I pulled a few comments that were commented on our live stream about their frustrations. And there were some really good, insightful comments that I pulled that I enjoyed hearing from all of you because, look, right now, again, here we are rolling into week, 4 now? And Florida Gator Nation is in a civil war. I mean, you go look at the chat during the press conference. It's absolute mayhem. And look, I think both parties have a right here. Typically, I come on this show and I'll throw on the Disney Gator hat, but today I'm throwing on the Universal hat, okay? I'm going to give you a little bit of fun, a little spiciness, but sometimes Universal, could, hit you in the face, be truthful. And that's what I'm going to do for you today because, look, I think like most of us, I was frustrated with what I saw on the football field last night, as I'm sure hopefully Billy and the rest of the team was, that, look, we got the W. That's exciting. That's positive. It's on to Kentucky. And I have some takeaways, and we'll get into that. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So, welcome. Happy Sunday. Good afternoon to you. Okay? Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, share it with somebody you love. Let's get the show started. All right? Happy to see all of you. Over 100 people in here already this morning or this afternoon. That fires me up. So, let's get straight to business. Let's get to the takeaways. First order of business here from Billy Napier. No energy. Felt like we had a lackluster of energy going on. I feel lied to, okay? Because he said this team's not like last year's team. We're not going to go up and downs. We're not going to move with these momentums and whatnot. Didn't feel that way. We won. And if we beat Kentucky next week, no one will even care or remember this game. And that is a 100% factual statement right there. They go into Kentucky. They roll through that game at noon. This game will be a thought of the past. However, I think what we were all hoping to see was a carryover from the last 2 weeks. McNeese State got it going, ran the ball all over the football field. Tennessee, we dominated, we controlled, but it seems that second half lackluster vanilla by putting your guys out there, allowing them to get absolutely slammed by the opposing team. And because you weren't able to catapult and excel this offense and put up 21 in a hurry, we didn't get to see Max Brown. We didn't get to see a lot of Treyon Webb, Aiden Mizell. I don't know what's going on with him. We saw a little bit of Andy Jean finally. But you are risking the health of this football team for whatever reason, right? I mean, you felt the game was in control. It wasn't like the offense was doing anything spectacular. Max Brown should have won it a long time ago. Those are the things that frustrated me as a fan. It's like I'm seeing our guys get hurt left and right for this dumbass game that you guys aren't caring about. Right? Clearly on the execution part of it. So why are we going to risk somebody getting injured? For what? I don't know. Those were some frustrating things to me. I think Billy, took a lot of steps forward last week against Tennessee and just somehow found himself taking some steps back with the fan base. Again, the calling for the offensive coordinator is back in. That Billy just doesn't have that wit about him. I don't know. It's things like that frustrate me. That it's hard for me to defend him because it's like, dude, Billy, you just keep it going. You know what I mean? And Cody last night on the show made some good points. Like, look, Georgia, they've had some sleepy games. Georgia can do whatever the hell they want. Kirby can do whatever the hell he wants. And to be fair, Georgia fans have not been ecstatic with the performance they've seen on the football field going back to the last few weeks either. So, look, that's just the world we live in. Look, it's tough. Tyreek Sapp said it when he came on the show, why he loves being a Gator. Because if you lose, they hate you. But you're winning, you look like you won a national championship. When you beat Charlotte by a damn near toenail, you might as well have lost the football game. That's kind of how Florida fans are acting right now. And look, it could be a little bit crazy. We have a high standard here. We know that. I've always known that. I get that. This is the first time that I think I'm on the non-Disney Gator side of a sense of like, look, I get where they're coming from. I wanted more. I had blood in my mouth, right? And I wanted us to catapult or to excel from what we did last week. It felt like we were just out there with our prey, just tossing it up in the air and just batting it back and forth with one another. I wanted to see that lion just hop on the back of that wildebeest and just rip that neck to shreds. That's what I wanted to see, right? I wanted to see these boys get fired up. I don't care if there's 90,000 people in the stands or 5,000 in the stands. You're playing for something bigger. You're playing for people that have doubted you week in and week out. You shouldn't need me to come out there and fire you the hell up. I saw Stephen Harris and Lewis Murphy talking about, like, we got to be at every game. They shouldn't have to go to every single game to keep the energy in the damn locker room. That's pathetic. That should not happen. That is not needed. You should want blood week in and week out. Saw that from a few of them, not from enough of them. $5 super chat from Chris says, defense played great, but the offense struggled, but we're building. And look, I think that's where, appreciate you bringing it back down. I think the defense did look, exceptional. I wanted more, but obviously offensively, we looked a little lackluster. So we'll see. This is a young and immature team. Look, a lot of things as well. Oh, look at that. Look at Greg. Look at Greg. Greg, hey, you suck. And so does Tennessee. So buzz off. All right. Glad I could get that out of the way. You weren't here last week. You didn't come up last week, so don't be coming in here now because you guys finally got to roll down, right? Because you guys finally rolled your team. I'm settled. I'm good. Look, overall, though, it's done and over with. We got the W. We'll keep it moving. We'll move into Kentucky. Like I said, they go into Kentucky, noon, at Kentucky, and do what we know they can do. Be the team we saw at McNeese State. Be the team we saw against Tennessee. Get fired up, right? Be hungry. Be ready to go. All will be forgotten. And I completely understand that. And I'm fine with that. So I'm not going to get too worked up. Again, it is one game. But as fans, we want to see more. We like to see guys get fired up. And we like to see a bloodbath at times. And again, I'll read a comment here from one of the fans. It's actually a really good takeaway. Just a moment. All right. Sheldon, be content with yesterday. We 3-1. And look, I get it. I think that's where most of us are. I told you I'm going to be a little bit of Disney Gator, a little bit of both here. And I understand we're 3-1. Like I said, at the end of the year, if we end up going with one loss, nobody's going to care. But we're in such a small sample size of what we're able to do. We want to see progress so we can feel comfortable and confident each week and going in and each week as we move on. I think that's the big thing there. No live show. We are live, Cole. Just talking about big guy. Do you think Montreal was dancing too much instead of finishing runs? I felt like he was kind of like almost hesitating, thinking too much, right? Versus just reacting and just blowing through the hole there. Again, we're getting nitpicky, but that's kind of how it felt. Q Lee, I love him. He's usually, pessimistic in his ways. But he made a comment, and it kind of did, scare me a little bit. We feel like that Muschamp team where we have a phenomenal defense, but not an offense to support it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, where are we at with that? No Colin Shaw. I was not feeling well after that. I was zonked after being live for most of the day. I was pretty wore out, to be honest with you. But let's talk about this. Obviously, Kamari Wilson, some drama went down with him. We've got to talk about that. It's heating up. We talked about it with Connor Clark. He's missing. Right? He was off the depth chart. We talked to him about that. I read some of your guys' comments about this as well. Again, a lot of these guys you guys are probably pretty much in the know, and I've kind of heard some of the same similar noises. They want him to transfer into a different position from safety to elsewhere, not fast enough to play safety. Again, this is kind of just the talk between Gator Nation here, and he's obviously not wanting to. That linebacker room being pretty thick. I don't know what his reasoning is, but some guys have this reason like I'm fit for this position, not this position, and it's just, well, we got this position covered, and you're not better than these guys. So either you're going to transfer or you're not going to play. What is it going to be? So he was left off the depth chart. Well, this is when things started to unfold here. So we have kind of a little breakdown from Twitter. Zach Goodall, shout out to my man Zach. He's been on the show before, asking the tough questions. Says, DB Kamari Wilson in a jersey and athletic shorts just showing Florida on the sideline. He was absent to begin the game and in team warmups. So nowhere to be found at the beginning of the game. Didn't see him. And I think he tweeted this around the second quarter. He comes strolling out into the football field in his jersey and athletic shorts. Obviously not ready to play, just to be part of the team. Well, Graham Hall then tweets, again, I'm kind of putting this in a little chronological order. After missing warm-ups, Florida safety Kamari Wilson joined the Gators on the sidelines midway through the second quarter, but the program just moved him off the sideline and into the locker room. Not an ideal situation for either party. And he's right, because now Florida has to be the bad guys, right? And Kamari is kind of getting embarrassed, and now he's going to be frustrated. So who knows what's going on? Haven't got too many cryptic tweets from him this week. But you got to think that this relationship has come to a close. I don't know. This is something we talked about the transfer portal. I mean, look, think about the Urban era. Something like this happened. We'd never even hear about it or even know what was going on because the likes of Twitter didn't exist. And guys couldn't act this way because they didn't have an outlet, right? Do I expect Kamari to enter the transfer portal this week? I don't know. He's going to be sitting out regardless, it seems like. Why not get a head start? But I don't make the rules here. And then asked about it at the end of the game at the press conference, Billy was asked about Kamari Wilson, and this is what Billy had to say, according to Jacob Rudner. Billy Napier said Florida can take 80 to the hotel on this travel roster, and Kamari Wilson was not among those people. Billy was very feisty in his press conference last night. I think he was fed up. I think he was more fed up than he wanted to lead on with the game, to be honest with you. And I think it kind of, through his answers, came out a little bit. But he basically said that, it's not that difficult. Didn't make the roster, shouldn't be there, right? And Kamari, obviously being home game, felt that he can just kind of walk up and do whatever. Look, it's tough. You're managing with multiple personalities, multiple dramas. But, yeah, so I would say this is probably the beginning to the end of Kamari Wilson being a Florida Gator. Hate to see it. He signed his helmet right here. I met him at one of the events, and his autograph is on here, right here, K5. So, you know what I mean? I mean, that's a bummer, but it'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that. That's kind of how the world works. So, Kamari Wilson, again, just based on how this has broke down, could be moving on. Could they have a heart-to-heart and talk with him and figure this thing out? Maybe, hopefully. But it doesn't seem to be going in that direction, especially with the fact that he wasn't there for warm-ups. Then he feels the need that he can just walk onto the sideline because he's Kamari Wilson, and then he gets escorted off. That sucks, like he said. That's not fun for anybody to be in that situation. So that's all we have right now on the Kamari Wilson situation. Do I expect more of this to come out this week? Possibly. The only thing I think that will come out, if it does, is that he's going to be leaving. But what do I know? Mike Bozeman, what's up, man? Something ain't right with Montreal. Got to feed number 7. He's that dude. Yeah, I mean, Montreal got clapped pretty hard against Tennessee, and I think towards the end of the game there, he didn't play much. But doesn't seem to be the Montreal of past lately, anyways. So, on top of the Twitter drama with Kamari Wilson that we just went over, there's more Twitter drama that we have to talk about. It's a new segment here because seemingly Florida seems to always be in the middle of it. But Travis, this is not his first time being involved with Twitter drama in the Florida Gators. There is a tweet here that has been deleted. I saw it last night because I was following along with it because it is fun. He tweeted out free 7, meaning let him run. Montreal definitely was getting more reps after we saw Trevor dominate the week prior. Again, is this Billy trying to rest Trevor? Is this Billy trying to get Montreal more comfortable? Does he feel that Montreal's losing his step? There's a lot of questions that we don't know. But selfishly, Travis is watching the game, wants his brother to eat, as anybody would, right? And I got to remember, too, he keeps tweeting these things, not truly understanding, and I think he's getting a hold of it now. Just the wrath that Gator Nation on Twitter brings. It's ruthless. We don't like it. When he tweeted out game 1 with Colorado, Trevor should go to Colorado, Florida fans went in a frenzy. Right? He should have learned then. But then he tweets out free 7. And then he tweeted out, which has since been deleted. He goes, I'm just not going to tweet about Gator football anymore, or something along those lines. That was then deleted. And now he left up, I just want to see my brother get the ball. So I think, obviously, Florida fans, we overreact a little bit. I think we're all a little gun shy with the transfer portal. Anytime somebody talks about the person leaving, right? Like our insecurities and our thoughts are like, yeah, why would Trevor want to stay if he's not getting the football? And then Travis tweets it out, right? Like what we're thinking. We're like, stop doing that. I'll put it in his head. Like, bro, like you think this tweet's going to make anything happen? Like we got to relax a little bit, right? Travis is a fan. He's watching from the outside looking in. He wants his brother to be ultimately successful, and he wants him to feed the ball. The same thing we're saying, right? We're saying in the comments, feed number 7 the football. Why aren't we giving this man the ball? The guy can't be taken down. And that's just it. But obviously, we all know Travis has a little more of a sway when he tweets out. He has the status, so it makes people feel a little uneasy, wheezy when they hear about it. So I wouldn't get too worked up about it. Again, he is just a fan of the game, fan of his brother, and wants his brother to be ultimately again successful. So this is something too. Again, we talked about it with Stephen Harris a little bit. Just the disconnect of playing for the orange and blue. That's just playing for your team colors has seemed to gone by the wayside across college football in general. It's just about what can my brother do, or what can my family member do, or what can this individual do to be successful. And look, you got to look out for yourself. So I understand where it's coming from. Trevor will get the bill of work during SEC play. And I agree. I don't think we should panic. I think everything is fine in the sense of Trevor and Montrell. Treyon's trying to get some more reps. I think they're really trying some things out. Look, I thought the game would go similar to what it did, right? We run the ball a lot and then throw kind of here and there. But it felt like we tried to get too acute at times. So, but nobody panic about the Twitter drama with Travis and Trevor Etienne. I think everything's going to be just fine. He's just a fan tweeting about his brother that has a little more clout. If Travis didn't play in the NFL, we probably wouldn't take any consideration to what he's saying. Because you know, moms that see tweeting shit about their sons is nuts. I love it. But we don't get too riled up about it because it's their mom. It's not somebody in the NFL that might have a little bit of, persuasion on the situation at hand here. So, I see you guys asking some question here. Billy chooses analytics on the capability of his players on a 4th and 1 head scratcher. Yeah, I saw that question. He went for it, on the 4th and 1, like at the end there, we kicked a field goal, his 5th field goal of the night. They're like, why did you not go for it? He goes, analytics tells us not to go for it there. So we love him when he goes for analytics. He stays true to the analytics. It is what it is. That's kind of how that's going to work, boys. Voice of the people. New little segment. I mean, not a new segment, but I'm bringing it back a little bit. Again, because I like hearing what you guys have to say about how you're feeling about the game. You always hear what I have to say. I try to have a neutral voice, but a fanatic voice at the same time. And sometimes fanatic voices, the comments are one side or the other. But I felt like the group here that I pulled together was a pretty good understanding. So Muddy says, this game offensively gave me 2022 LSU vibes. The staff and team didn't care and was focused on the next game. They even rested a ton of guys. At least we have our kicker, and last, Etienne needs to start. Etienne also needs to tell Big Bro to stop tweeting his dislikes for Florida all the time. So shout out to Muddy. Just he's a new member. You can see his white piggy there. So look, we've all been watching enough Gator football to get kind of an idea or a feel of what we're headed at. Gator Guy 6 says, please, for the love of God, leave Etienne in more than Montrell. Glad Boardingham was left in at tight end tonight. Absolutely. Better find a solid secondary target at wide receiver for Mertz to throw to other than Ricky. Well, Eugene will be back. I've been calling for Andy Jean. Glad to see him finally. Billy has some freaking guts and don't kick a field goal against Charlotte. Looks incredibly weak. So, again, frustration, right? Yellow says, looked like Mertz was the only one who cared on offense. But then the comment of the night. This is probably one of my favorite comments that I read that really brought things into perspective. I think where this is where, again, it's so much more important to Florida football, right? Billy needs to better understand the business of keeping your attending fan base happy and selling tickets. Fans don't want to get gas up their RVs, do a road trip, spend lots of money on a big tailgate, or make expensive hotel reservations and spend lots of money on concessions and merch just to see their team score one freaking touchdown when they're expecting them to score 10. This is a red meat game, and in a 60-minute meal, there was no red meat being served. The fans were expecting porterhouses and ribeyes, but got tofu sliders. Back in the 80s, we had some pretty mediocre teams, but we still always sold out because the fans got their red meat on these sacrificial lamb home games. I'm sure that Billy understands that wins like these feel like losses to the fans and to the recruits. Think about it. Did this game make anyone feel happy? I mean, it's beautifully written. from Barry James Bergen. Beautifully said. I mean, he's spot on, right? We all show up to the big dance, licking our chops, knowing it's going to be a bloodbath. That's exactly what we want to see. Like, we show up to the Coliseum. We want to see the guy get massacred. We want to see the Roman Empire, right? Speaking of the Roman Empire, that trend. We want to see a bloodbath. And he's right. These fans go all the way out. They tailgate all day. They hang out to get a show. And I understand you have a football team. You have other things to worry about. But there is a business part of this as well, especially with how he's been on this hot seat. This is an opportunity for you to shut the haters up for a bit now, roll into Kentucky and get things going. Now you just call yourself a whole week of headache. You got to get a dumb question. You know what I mean? But I love this. I feel like this really wrapped it up into a nice little present and delivered what I was trying to say earlier. That, look, we got the W, sure. But how do we feel about it as fans? What do we want? And look, we're important. You told us last week we were important. So don't tell me that fans don't matter. We do matter. We're important. We're putting people in the seats. We're selling out to Charlotte. We sold out to Charlotte for a reason. We were excited what we saw in Tennessee. We wanted to see it again. So, again, I know next week everything will be forgotten if we get the W, but hell of a comment there. Thank you guys for your comments as well. I appreciate it when you guys do comment on the videos. I try to read some of them. I got to ignore some of them because they get a little brutal at times. But hey, over 300 people in the chat on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe. We're on the way to 17,000 subs. We're about 100 away. 100 away to 17,000 subs. The family growing like a weed. I love it. Love you guys and appreciate it. So, he's right. We were expecting filet mignon and got a damn T-bone. I don't even think we got a T-bone, Bubba. I think he's right. We got tofu sliders. Tofu is delicious. Scott O2O beat UK. This goes away. Look, and you're right, Scott. And I'm not trying to, be dreadful here or beat up on the negativities. I just, look, I think for as Disney Gator as I am and as pro-Billy as I am, I have a place where I can be a little critical when need be. And I think this game called for a little criticism from us, the fans. I think out of the entire year, this is the first time that I felt, hey, we have a voice here. We can say a little something just because I felt like it was just an abysmal performance, to say the least. All right. What else do we've got here? Moving on from a voice of the people. We got some recruiting news. How about the little graphics, huh? Graphics team's crushing it, whoever's doing that. So the recruits that were there this week, that's another big thing. Again, do you think recruits go and watch a Charlotte game like, wow, Gators suck? I don't know. But you would love to. It's an opportunity. You've got all these guys that are in there right now each week. Again, to put on a show, to have the swamp lit up, to have the swamp on fire. That is a selling point for the Billy Napier and the Florida Gators, is the energy that the swamp brings week in and week out, regardless of who are playing. But you got to give them a reason to get excited. You got to give the reason for that electricity to run through the veins of the people at the swamp. And we didn't do that. But it was a very weird week of visits. These four gentlemen right here, right? It's like the bad boys club. You know what I mean? Jarrett Gibson once committed to Florida Gators, flipped committed to Texas. Deontay Robinson, we had a live show. We felt pretty confident on our sources that he was going to be a Gator. Then I got this weird pit in my stomach that Texas was going to come in and swoop him up. Sure enough, they did. Charles Lester was heavily favored to Florida. I'm talking early on recruiting, boys. I'm talking like early. I'm talking like last December, like this time last year. He had crystal ball to Florida. That's how locked he was. Elijah Rushing was one of these guys as well. Neither of those guys ended up following through. Charles obviously ended up going, now he's an FSU guy. Jeremiah Smith has been obviously a massive target for Florida this entire time. That one isn't as confusing as to me as the other three. Jarrett Gibson isn't as confusing. I know since losing Chauncey Bowens that Jarrett has definitely been a target for Florida. Connor Clark has even mentioned that they're not going to stop continuing to pursue that. And apparently they're heavily pursuing Deontay Robinson still too. So it's starting to make sense. The Charles Lester one has thrown me off the complete hinges. I have no clue where that's coming from. He's even talked about, with Corey Bender mentioned it, that he's going to make an official visit here in December. I don't know if he's just hanging out, right? Just trying to get a free visit. That's what it feels like. A lot of the fans feel that way. But man, this group right here, again, this is what we talked about. If we pull one of these guys from this group, that's massive, right? We've got 4 or 5 spots left. If we're able to pull one of these big, Charles Lester 5-star. Jared Gibson was once a 5-star. I think DeAndre is a 4-star / close to 5-star, and obviously Jeremiah being the number 1 recruit in the country would just be an absolute haul of a recruit there. So again, weird weekend of recruits. Miles Graham was there again as well. Even Charles Lester stayed after the game with Billy. Billy was talking to these guys. He was still recruiting, still actively, pursuing to bring these guys in. So look, I don't hate it. Right? If they're going to give you an opportunity to bring them in-house, to show them what you've got to talk about, to show them how you can utilize them, any opportunity that we can get to talk to them, I'll take it. As much as of a joke as it may seem, I know some of you are like, this is a joke, quit talking about it. Look, they are still visiting the Florida Gators. I don't know why you'd spend that much time. Look, Jeremiah Smith lives in Hollywood. It's not much of a far drive for him. I know a lot of people are saying, like, why come to this game and not the Tennessee game? We don't know their agenda. Right? We don't know where they were last week. That's not our business, but it's a great question. Why not come to that game? Now, to be fair, that game was packed out for 2025. Maybe Billy had a different agenda for those guys. We don't know. There's a lot of things that we don't know, but very weird group of recruits to visit this weekend, and not to have DJ Lagway there to help kind of, bring this together. Miles Graham, again, I think one of our leaders, he was there. So we'll see. I still like Mincy, McCray, and Seaton. Look, and those guys, another 4. It's like a weird group, right? Like, it can kind of go either way here. So, look, this is a good point, Connor. He says, boys, we were never blowing out Charlotte out. As soon as the head coach walked out of the gym shorts and a cutoff tee, you knew it would be a dogfight. Look, when I saw him walk out with his T-shirt that he's pulled out of the laundry room, I go, buddy ain't playing games. He don't give a shit about it. He had to carry his, walkie-talkie thing all night because he put it on his shorts. His pants would fell down. You saw that? He had to carry it the whole time. It was absolutely incredible. I love it here. Over 300 people in the chat. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. Again, if you are brand spanking new to the channel, happy to have all of you here. And last but not least, Best Buddies. We've been talking about it. We're going to continue to talk about it until we're giving it away. We are giving away a signed Tim Tebow helmet. For people, anyone that donates to Best Buddy. So how do you enter? You donate to the Best Buddy program that we're partnering with. $20 gives you 2 entries in to win a signed Tim Tebow helmet. I wish I'd have it right now. I think it's in the living room. It's a little red, white, and blue mini Tim Tebow helmet. I posted about it on Twitter and on the community page for YouTube. So go check out that link to see what it looks like and also to donate. Again, $20 gives you 2 entries. We're giving away on October 13th. So don't want to miss out on that. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Go show some love. And smash the like button, boys. We get 300 people in here and not even 100 likes yet. Come on now. Let's get it. Let's go. Was Pearsall's catch of the year? Hell of a catch there, Muddy. You got to think so, right? It's got to be a nominee. I got to see a showdown with it. Right? It's not even close. The catch alone was incredible, but then he gets clocked and bounces back up. I love it. Let's see what you guys are saying about everything, and then we'll wrap it up here. Billy is stuck in his own ways. He really don't understand the Gator standard. It's only 2 guys on the roster that fully understand the Gator standard, and that's Billy and Brandon. Billy G and B Spike. Okay. Let's see here. Thank you for the likes, boys. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was an incredible catch there, Muddy, to say the least. Couldn't agree more. What's going on with Kamari? Oh, so we just talked about it early in the show. If you haven't, go back and take a look. We already mentioned it. We already discussed it. Had a great time talking about it. So be sure to go check that out if you haven't already. All right, boys. Well, hell of a show. Hell of a Sunday show. We are going to have a show later on tonight. The professor and I, we're going to do a full college recap show. And things are rolling here. We're having a good time. We're really enjoying it. Your support has been absolutely incredible. It means the world to us. So thank you so much for always hopping in here, smashing the like button, and spreading the love. It means a lot to us. But look, it's hate Kentucky week. So get the middle fingers warmed up. All right. If you're a Kentucky fan, let them know how you feel. They look pretty dominant against Vandy this week. So it's going to be a dogfight out there in Lexington. If you're going there, let me know down in the comments that I'll be in Lexington. Shout out to you for making the trip. I love you guys. Be good. Go Gators. Happy Sunday. Go watch some NFL for a little bit. But tonight, again, keep the bell turned on. We're doing a full college recap show. First one we're going to do. Should be exciting. Crank it up. Peace.
don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you